So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Minh Huy. Today, I would like to deliver you a talk with the title Beyond the Score. First, let me ask you a question. If you see a child holding a test paper, do you see the paper first or do you see the child first? Most children are afraid when people see their score. So, can one number really measure the worth of a child? I think this is the problem. We live in the world that loves speed and convenience. We want quick answers, simple measurements, and easy comparisons. That's why grades become such a popular tool. Numbers look clear, fair, and objective, but children are not numbers. And it's dangerous when people use grades as a shortcut for judging a whole person. A low grade can quickly become a label, lazy or not good enough. A high grade can become another label, successful or well-behaved. But is that always true? Of course not. A score can show how well a child performed on one test, but it cannot tell how hard they tried, what they were struggling with, or what kind of person they are becoming. And the most frightening thing is when the child believes in that label. When a child believes, I am just a bad student, he may stop trying. Not because he has no ability, but because he no longer believes that he can change. Then that's when I realized a grade is just a snapshot. But a child is not a snapshot. A child is a story that's still being written. A score can tell how well a child understands one subject in one format at a moment, but it cannot tell the whole person. It cannot tell their potential, their future, or their lifelong learning journey. And every child is strong in different ways. Some are good at drawing, some are good at singing, some are good at building things, and some are good at caring. So, how can only one number measure creativity, kindness, character, or discipline? According to the mentioned reasons, scores are obviously unable to define the worth of a child. So, what can define the worth of a child? First, before answering the question, let me tell you a story about my mom. When she was a child, she studied not so good. One day, she came home with a low test score. She got only 5 out of 10. At that time, she often compared herself with her cousins. One of them, Uncle Vinh, was extremely excellent and had won many awards in mathematics. Another cousin, Aunt Hiền, was always at the top of school. Compared to them, my mother felt ashamed. Then she asked my grandmother, Mom, my score is low. I am not as good as my cousins. Do you still love me? And my grandmother answered, Of course, I love you because you are you, and you do not need to become your cousins. After that conversation, my mom felt the love from my grandmother, and she gained back her confidence. She set her goals, which were entering Hanoi University of Science and Technology and becoming a successful businesswoman. Their journey was not easy. She faced difficulties and had many mistakes, but she kept learning from failure and then successfully achieved her goals. The spirit that I truly admire is the self-learning, continuous improvement, and the courage. It's also the spirit of Ellie, daring to try, daring to learn from mistake, and daring to speak. So, if we should not look at grades, what should we look at? I think we should look at the goals, the effort, the courage to stand up after failure, and the ability to keep learning. As parents, teachers, and adults, we should create an environment which allows children to make mistakes, try again, and grow step by step. If a child has a bad score, instead of asking, why are you so bad? Maybe we should ask, what can we learn from this? Because when children are allowed to learn from mistakes, they become stronger and gradually scores also improve. So here's the message I want to leave with you. Grades evaluate the work, not the worth. What matters is the child's goal, courage, effort, and the ability to learn. If we truly want children to improve, we should create an environment for them, the right environment for them to grow. We should notice small progress, accept mistakes, and wait patiently for them to become stronger. When children are loved, trusted, and guided, they can change not only score, but also their life. So, a bad score is not an end for a student, and with love, discipline, and courage to learn, we can change, the story can change. Yeah, thank you for listening.